Hi guys, I'm Chelsea. And the title of my TED Talk is Sex and the Selfie, How Ideas of Sex and Relationships Have Changed with the Rise of Social Media. So whether we like it or not, technology in the 21st century has changed every part of our lives, from the way we study to the way we shop, and more importantly, the way we date and how we relate to sex. How many of us have posed in front of our own cameras trying to capture that cute selfie, that eye-catching photo, that prof pic that'll get us abundant likes, reaffirming comments, and in many cases, attention from that potential partner? They say that most of communication between sexes is nonverbal. Researchers say that about 57% of women, their first impressions of a guy are based off of his body language and his self-presentation. About 38% judge him on how he speaks, and only 7% actually cared about what he said. So I guess men and women are more alike than we'd like to give credit for. So this just shows how we have shifted more toward self-presentation as a means of attraction. Physicality has become the top of the totem pole of dating, and with sex becoming less of a taboo in our society, the traditional definition of relationships has changed drastically. Courtship ritual is virtually dead. Now, when my mother and father were dating, he always paid the check, he always opened the car door, opened the restaurant door. Well, basically everything gentlemen had to do to seal the deal, basically. But as far as who pays now, Match.com suggests that increasing amounts of Americans are foregoing the traditional rule that the man always pays for the dinner. Between 2010 and 2012, the number of people who said that whoever did the asking should do the paying increased from 21% to 32%. Almost 50% increase in just 2 years. During that same time period, women were also increasingly initiating sex. They were saying, hey, we're horny too. In 2010, just over a third of women said they would make the first move, but last year, almost half of women reported taking that initial step. So gender roles have changed, and with that, ideas of sexuality have changed as well. Hooking up has taken the place of traditional dating. Fun and instant gratification have taken the place of long-standing relationships. And social media is based in this idea of indulgence and I want the now and get eager and to the point. And this is even indicative of the way that we communicate now. We'd rather connect through short bursts of ideas, such as a tweet, a text message, or an email, rather than committing to a phone conversation. So the question is this a bad thing? Well, yes and no. Feminist care ethics suggest that we as people are a sum of our relationships. So if we lack depth and connection between each other, this can have a drastic effect on the foundation of our relationships, and it could be detrimental on our character. One could argue that the new liberal ideas of sex have contributed to lack of intimacy and promoting promiscuity. We have seen a huge spike in STDs such as chlamydia and also pregnancy among 18 to 24-year-olds, the same age range that uses social media the most. On the other hand, a person can make sexual choices without having to worry about judgment. In either case, it begins on how you make your decision about a person. No matter the means, it's important to consider the person behind the profile. Thank you.
The more liberal attitudes about sexuality have really changed intimacy, or do you think social media is more behind it? Like you personally?
I think the I think it's a combination of both, definitely, because sex is not such a taboo subject in our community. We can talk to people about it, we can engage in it, and it's not that big of a deal. And social media just allows us that outlet to get it, basically. So I think it's a combination of both. Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, what did you think the problem with this change is, and like, what do you think would be like a solution for it?
So I think the biggest problem is that sex has a lack of intimacy. Like I was saying, how my father would take my mother out on a date and she would pay, and it was a traditional thing. So it's just the connection is not as strong as it used to be. But a way that we can rectify that, I guess, is just to not base everything on what we see you know what I'm saying? Like what the outside, basically, just get to know the person behind that. Yeah.
So you said that roles have changed, gender roles have changed. Do you think that has a correlation with power? So do you think women have more power over men now, or how do you feel about that?
Definitely. Well, I don't think women have more power over men, but women have definitely stepped up on the social ladder, as you could say. So we have women in more powerful roles, women who would rather put their careers before having a relationship. So that's definitely changing how this affects us as well.